Good day, everyone. It's a nice, beautiful day. We are in Cape Town, and I'm very excited because my guest today is a fellow Cape Townian. So, yay, fellow South African, fellow Cape Townian. Very, very excited to introduce to you today Elize Strauss. I call you Elize, but I know other people call you Elizabeth. And Elize is going to say hi, please, before I carry on.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here with you, Tola. Thank you very much for inviting me. Yes, I so love what you're doing, and Phoenix Rising, that is just so close to my heart, because we all need to reinvent ourselves.
Yes.
And I don't think it only happens once. I think I reinvented myself about 20 times already.
Of course. No limits. So I like that you have already touched on that, Elize, because I would love for you to start us off by telling us a bit about your background, your early life. And as you have, already indicated on this show, which is Phoenix Rising, Finding Your Life Calling, we talk about how we have redesigned our lives, where you started and what happened to you, and then how did you get to where you are today. So if you would please share on that, on your journey, how it started and how you got to where you are today.
Sure, that's a very interesting and exciting adventure. My life is an adventure, and when I think back about stuff that happens, I'm like so overwhelmed and blessed because I'm still alive.
Ain't God good?
God is good, I tell you. Yeah, so I grew up in a very small little miners town in Gauteng. And that's where we lived, and nobody knows about the place. And we always laugh because we say it's so scary. The kids bite the dogs. So, but yeah, a lot of good people come from there. And
which town is this, Elize?
Sorry?
Which town was it?
Bochel.
Oh, goodness. I've never even heard of it.
Exactly. It's a very small town. And yeah, I left home and I got married. And but I was always the church going girl. I never did anything really wrong. I wasn't a naughty girl at school. I was just always doing what I supposed to do. Yeah. But then I got divorced when I was like 23 years old. I got divorced and I had this little baby. And now my whole life fell apart. And I had to pick myself up from there. And I lived in Pretoria. And after that, I decided to move to Cape Town. And when I arrived in Cape Town, I had to reinvent myself completely. Now I'm a single mom and I'm very, very young. So people looked at me and they all had these weird expectations, and they thought whatever they thought of me wasn't really who I am. Yeah. But also having that background of always doing the right thing, I then went over to always doing the wrong thing because the right thing didn't work for me. I still got divorced.
You did a complete switch.
I did the swing and I did everything wrong, and I really ended up at a very bad space. Even that bad where I realized if I do not get it out now, I will have to live on the streets.
Yeah.
And I drifted away from God, but I was still in love with God, and I knew he was there. Yeah. I was naughty, but he was still there. So it's not that I didn't talk to him or anything like that, but my life, the worse I got, the worse my life got.
Yeah.
And up to a point where I knew my life is really at a very difficult state now, that I went and I picked out a spot where I will park my car and me and my daughter will stay in this car. And then, and I will survive until something happens. But that was my future.
Yeah.
And that weekend, my brother came to visit me from America, and he came and we went to visit my mom and dad that lived in Oudtshoorn. And the next moment he wrote off my car. He had this big car crash and I didn't have a car. So now where am I going to stay?
Yeah.
But my mom and dad, they didn't know how serious the situation was. So they couldn't understand what was going on. But when I got back home, one of my clients, she tried to get hold of me while I was in Oudtshoorn, and she was desperate, trying to get hold of me. And the day she came and I did her nails, and she said to me, you know what, I was thinking of you so much, and I don't know why, but we're moving tomorrow, and I need someone to come and live in my house for the next 6 months. I'm like, but I don't have money to do this now. And she's like, but don't worry, you can live there for free.
Wow.
And that was just like that, where my whole life changed again. Then I realized that God had me in his hand the whole time, and he prepared a way for me.
You are an all-round businesswoman. You are a CEO of a wellness center. You are a shareholder in a music production company. You are the director of Tensa and also Lemon Leadership Facilitator. And of course, I mean, there's the whole Taking Back Me that, you are still going to unpack for us. So let's first maybe talk about Tensa. What is Tensa?
A couple of years ago, I am very obedient if I hear God speak. And I got this message from someone in our church that I didn't know. And he sent me this message, maybe I should go and check out this people that is coming to our church. And I'm like, okay, I'll be there. So as I entered this meeting, there was this person from Norway, and he's talking about tent, and I'm like, what is tent? And he talks about the life of Paul and how Paul was he was a tent maker. He literally made tents. That was his job. He went from town to town and he made tents, and he was a very good entrepreneur, where he will and that's how he got to meet people. He got to meet a lot of business people, because people bought from him, and he had a good reputation as a tent maker. And that is what tent is all about, is that you can do your job, the one that you love. You don't need to leave your job when you want to serve God, like I did in my previous life. I thought if I want to live for God, I can't do my job anymore.
Yes.
So I need to be a pastor now. I have to go and study. I need to become a pastor because I want to serve. And that's not what tent is all about. Is that God places you in your occupation, there where you are. If you are a doctor, if you are a teacher, if you are whatever job you can think of, even if you're just a mom, you are a tent maker there, because you are creating opportunities where people will see God through your life and in your workplace, not preaching the gospel, but showing the gospel. Show how to love those people that you don't like.
I love that.
So that is in a nutshell what tent is all about.
I really love that, because I think maybe you and I did have this conversation, or maybe I was having it with my neighbor, and I was talking about what I love, what I see God doing these days especially, is using normal people. I don't know why I'm using the word normal, but I'm sure you will understand what I mean. He uses people like you and me
Yeah.
to spread his kingdom. So you don't, exactly as you have said, you don't have to be a pastor and leave whatever occupation and go and train to become a pastor. So he can use, Elize the mom. And we shouldn't say just mom, because mom is a whole big thing. It's not just a mom, it's Elize the mom, Tola the mom. Whoever, the neighbor, he uses real people. So I like that about Tent, that you're saying that you can go wherever and spread the kingdom of God and just be yourself. And, in your own capacity as whoever you are. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that. And we will come back to if people want to get in touch with you and learn a bit more about it, where they can find that information. So the Lemon Leadership.
Sorry, I just want to say something about Tent as well.
Sure,
What we actually do as well is we equip people how to do that, but we also help people to get over cross-culturally. So the whole idea is also to, where Jesus said we have to make disciples, and we will start in our close and then we will go out and to the other areas. And that is basically what we help people do. So you will, if you get it right in your job, you will know how to do it in any country. So a lot of people feel cool. I think there's a season where you realize that you've done what you needed to do in your comfort zone, and then he moves you out, and sometimes it is to another country. So what Tent does, it helps you, we help you to find opportunities in other countries, to find a job for you to do there, and there to connect with other tent makers and grow your community in that area. So that is also a very interesting part of Tent that we don't often talk about.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And anyway, while we're still at it, you may as well tell us how to find more information on this particular one, on Tent SA.
You can go to tentinternational.org.
Okay.
All the information is on there. Yeah.
Okay, so tentinternational.org. Okay, cool. So let's move on to Lemon Leadership. You're a Lemon Leadership facilitator. What is that about? Yeah.
So that's so leadership. What it does, it identifies 5 different leadership types. Right. So that is specifically how we do things. Right. It's different than personality types. It's more how you relate to other people around you, and how you think about things, how you do things, how you communicate, because everyone is a little bit different. And we all have strong and weak sides. And our weak sides, when we have bad days, we actually do not operate as we always would. We operate out of our secondary slices, weak characteristics, and that is a whole science around it. But it's very interesting when you get to know it, because then you realize why certain people are always happy-go-lucky, but the moment when they're under pressure, they like all of a sudden have all this list and they do 1, 2, 3, and then they talk a different language. But that's what Lemon Leadership does. It shows you how your team around you, how your daughter, how your husband, how your wife operates differently than you, and that's okay. It's completely okay not to be the same.
Yes, of course. And you say that this is like a life skills coaching thing that people have to go through in order to help them identify their leadership style.
There's 2 easy ways. There's 2 ways you can go about it. You can do it on your own. Just do the Lemon assessment. You can go on the link and you can get your own assessment and your own results.
Okay.
And then the results are very clear and very defined, and you can read the book that goes along with that. Okay. Or you can do it through me, where you come for coaching, and I use Lemon in all of my coaching sessions. When you
Okay.
do come for a coaching session, I start with lemon, because then I know how to
Yeah.
talk to the client.
Yes.
If they are managers, I will put on my managerial hat, and I will talk to her in that way. And I will teach her the difference, because that's usually, there's different ways that we all communicate. Or you can do it as a team building or in your business.
Okay.
Then you do group assessments. That's a little bit more data that you gather, but that we do in our business coaching part. Then we do that part of the business coaching, do group assessments, and then you can have specific workshops regarding teamwork or communication or marketing or whatever your need is in your company. We can adjust to that.
Okay. Oh, so I think we should slowly bring it to a close. With all of this, and I mean, as I said, you are doing, CEO of Wellness Center. You've now touched on that, the Lemon Leadership, the coaching space, and being a mother of 4 and homeschooling them, because I think we forgot to mention that she also homeschools her kids. I don't know how you are my hero. I want to be you in my next life. I'll come to you for lessons. So the last thing I would love for you to leave us with, our audience, is how do you pull it all together? Any wise words, I don't know, anything that you'd love to share with other women out there who are listening?
I think what always gets me is that we should be real.
Yeah.
We as women, we have this masks on, and we think to be in control means that everything is fine always. And we're fine, we're good, we can't complain. And yes, I don't believe in complaining ever, but I do think we have to be real to ourselves. We have to be honest to ourselves. If you see a problem or you feel a problem between you and your husband, you have to see it for what it is. I think this morning I had a conversation with my team, and one youngster, she's still very young, and she's like, she doesn't self-reflect enough. And I said, that's the thing. We have to be, in the end of the day and then in the beginning of the day, sit down and be honest. Be honest about your feelings. Be honest and address it at that moment. Don't let an issue between you and your husband fester for months and months and have this still staper and don't talk about it. And with your children, don't let them rule your life when you love them. We know, we as moms, we love our children, but it doesn't mean we have to put ourselves down completely. We will always, if we are believers, we realize that everything is about the other person. It's all about Jesus. It's all about how we will love more, how we will love our husbands more, how we will have better relationships with everyone around us, and how we can be an example. But the best example can be by saying, you know what, I am tired. I'm allowed to have go to bed early. And you know what? You can help me cook the food, or the kids can help, or your team. I don't think we should ever be alone. We should always have a team around us. And we as women should empower each other to lean on each other. I think in the days like today, women are not leaning on each other, not in all the communities. We are lone rangers, and we think we have to have all the balls in the air, and we manage it quite well. But when we don't, it shouldn't be such a big, now we drop the ball and now the life ends. No, we can pick up, and we can pick each other up, and we can support one another. Today I am strong, tomorrow my partner is strong, and we carry each other through. And having a goal for yourself in your personal life, that is so key, because then you realize what you're working for.
I love everything you've said. And I mean, especially because I always say this to myself, is to be kinder to yourself and to allow yourself that day off. I call them Benylin days, you know, the adverts of Benylin cough mixture or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like some days I will say, today is my Benylin day. And I'm in pajamas all day and I'm walking around with my cup of coffee. You know, because it's me being kinder to myself. And yes, I have goals to achieve. I've got things and places to get to, but I don't have to have it all, you know, all the balls in the air, you know, every day. Sometimes you have said it very well. Sometimes you can allow yourself to drop a few balls, you know, and today, if I'm weak, you are strong and you can lift me up and I'll do the same for you. So that's a brilliant, brilliant message. I love that a lot. So thank you so much, Elize. Anything else? How can people contact you? Anyone who wants to connect with you, social media, websites. I think you've already mentioned the website. It's takingbackme.com.
I think on I'm Taking Back Me, all the links are there to all the social media pages. There is also links to the spa pages. Everything is there. So that's our biggest, the easiest way to connect.
Okay, excellent. And I know you're on Clubhouse as well, but we don't have time now to go into Clubhouse. We will have another session when you launch your podcast and we can go into detail about Clubhouse and other activities that we didn't get to. So thank you so much. It was such an honor, my friend. I'm so happy that you are in my circle and I get to call you a friend of mine. So I hope you have an amazing afternoon. It's almost evening time now.
Thank you. And it's lovely that I can be in your circle and we can actually have lunch dates. That's the best part of it.
Yeah, I know. It's like being a kid again. We are definitely going to set another one. Thank you so much, Elize. And say hello to everyone at home and keep well. We'll talk again.
Thank you very much.